Hey there viewers, and welcome back to Grumpy Monkey Garage, where today we're going to be giving advice to the new drivers of the world with the top 5 cars that would be a good first car for you. Coming right up. All right, let's get started with the list and some parameters that I set for this. So if you're a new car driver, I'm going to assume that you're either a teenager who just got your license, or maybe you moved from a state that you don't need a car to a state like Georgia, where if you don't have a car, you're probably going to starve to death. So you may not be in tune with cars. This is for you. Now, I'm going to give you some information. There's going to be a lot of technical information in here. If you don't understand, that's okay. You're just going to listen to the top 5 ones to go look at, and make sure you get all the cars that you're going to look at inspected by a mechanic you trust. Not the dealership's mechanic, not the used car guy's mechanic. Pick somebody else that you trust to go look at it, because if you don't, you never want to trust their own people. It could be rusty, it could be a total loss, a flood car. You don't need any of that kind of crap. So let's jump right in. We're going to start at the bottom of the list and work our way to the best cars to buy. And we're going to start with some SUVs here. If you need an SUV because you live in a snowy climate, or maybe you've got kids, you need the space, whatever your situation is, if you need an SUV, here's some for you. The GMC Jimmy / Chevrolet Blazer. Now, the parameters I set for this was also $1,500, which is why you're not going to see a Toyota 4Runner in this car's position. Toyota 4Runner would obviously be better, but they're cost prohibitive. They're very expensive trucks. The GMC Jimmy and the Chevy Blazer we found for under $1,500 in pretty good shape that didn't have many problems. We did an S10 review, you can watch here in the description, talking about some of their interior issues, but reliability, this car will get you down the road, and it'll be very cheap to maintain when things do go wrong. If you're buying at a $1,500 price point, you can expect things to go wrong, or it'll need tires, or it'll need brakes, and all those things are very cheap for this vehicle. Also, long history of the 4.3 being a reliable tank, so good to go there. Next vehicle I've got on this list is the Jeep Cherokee. Now, I'm specifically talking about 2004 and older Cherokee and Grand Cherokee. You're going to want to look for the 6-cylinder engine, so you can find that out by simply looking at the Carfax, the title, whatever, or if you know what you're looking at, you can look under the hood. We'll show you some pictures of a 4.0 here. That's what you want to look for. That is the good engine. That's the one that's going to go the distance. But there's lots of Grand Cherokees and Cherokees in this price point. You get the 4 doors. They're easy to fix, so if you're starting out and you're like wanting to be very independent and fix your own vehicle, that's very good. This one is very easy to work on. There's 100 different YouTube videos out here of people fixing their Jeeps and solving their problems on them. They're very user-friendly. You need a set of pliers, screwdrivers, and a socket set. You can take the whole Jeep apart. Very, very user-friendly with those things. So I would definitely recommend this for somebody who's interested in working on vehicles. This is a good one to get into. Also, the 4-wheel drive availability, even here in the South, you can get 4-wheel drive ones of these if you live in a place where it's required, the mountains, things like that. Coming up next on our list is the cars. We've got anything with a GM 3.8. Now, when I say anything, I mean like the Impala, the Buick LeSabre, the Buick Century, the Pontiac Grand Am, Pontiac Grand Prix, any of the GM big body 3.8 liter V6s. Now, we've done a couple of those cars on our channel. You can go see that. We've actually shown you how to change things like brakes on those cars, for an example, or window regulators. They're very easy to work on. They're very cheap. They're built cheap. We found plenty of them running and driving. I bought that Pontiac for sub $50. They're very, very cheap to buy into, but they're very problematic. So keep that in mind, that you're gonna every month probably have to spend $30 to $50 on something that's going to go wrong with that car. But it's a very cheap price point. If you're buying it for your teenager and you expect them to have a few fender benders, there are 9 million of these cars in the junkyard. You can get parts for them, and they're very easy to change. Same with that Jeep, very easy to work on. They're very user-friendly. I would also say the 3.8 is good if you are gonna be commuting maybe to college or maybe to a first job that's a little further away. You get a better highway mileage with that than you would with those SUVs, so just keep that in mind. Next, and this is, we kind of tied for first place on this one, is the 1998 to 2002 Toyota Corollas. Now, specifically that window, because you can find them for $1,500. 03 and up Corollas, if you found $1,500, it's probably a scam, but maybe there's a legitimate one out there. I just haven't seen it yet. But 9802, you can get in that price point. We did a whole restoration series, you can see here on one of those. They are rock solid. They are great on gas, 40 miles to the gallon. They will take you the distance. This is the car to buy. They're pretty hard to find though, in good shape. A lot of them have had 9 accidents. They've gone through 15 owners. They've survived, you know, Hurricane Katrina way back when, still having electrical problems from it, but they will always start, run, and drive. It's a very reliable platform to buy. I've had very good luck with it. I think you would as well. You could also get this one with a manual transmission in this price point, so that's something to think about. If you are looking for a manual transmission for whatever reason, maybe you want your kid to learn how to drive stick, you can get a manual Toyota Corolla in that price point. That would be in good shape. I highly recommend that one. And number 1 spot on our list here is any 90s Toyota Camry with the 2.2. The 2.2 Camry engine is indestructible. Now this is the only one on this list that actually has a timing belt. I've explicitly removed all other cars that have timing belts like the Civic and Accord, because timing belts are a costly repair, and if you don't do it, it can destroy your engine. The 2.2 Toyota Camry is not the case. If you break your timing belt, it doesn't matter because it's fine. It is not an interference engine, so you won't blow it up. I've seen hundreds of them come in, broken timing belt, put a new one on there, and it's totally fine the next day, running and driving. It's very cheap to do as well. I mean, we're talking three digits, not 4 to get it done, so that's pretty good. Pretty much anywhere you go, it'll be about that affordable. If your Camry has a transmission go out, they're at every single salvage yard, $250, $300 for a used one with low miles. They are available. It is very easy to change. We've done several of them here. They live forever. You get lots of space and good safety features. That big long hood from the 90s, of course. You get a lot of comfort in the ability that if I hit something, it's going to take a long time for it to actually reach the area that I'm sitting in. So that's a good thing. We do have a bonus on this list, but I would want to say the 90s Camry and the 98 to 02 Corolla, those are the two that if you want the best in this budget, that's where you're going to get, but they don't come in 4-wheel drive, so if you do need that, consider the SUVs on the list, and they are right at that $1,500, sometimes having to haggle it down to $1,500 price point. They are at the top of that budget. So if you want something cheaper, consider the GM38, or if you need an SUV, consider the SUVs on this list. Now our bonus. I did not throw in the Civic and Accord. They have timing belts, they're interference motors, they break. Lots of people have flipped them over the years trying to make a profit by just hiding problems or BSing it back together. We had a customer look at one the other day that somebody had taken ramen noodles and shoved it into the rust holes, bondoed over it and painted it, and if you didn't know what you were looking at, it looked factory. And I was like, wow, this is a giant piece of shit. Thank God you got it inspected, because this thing's rusted in half. There's lots and lots of problems with the budgeted Accords and Civics. I would definitely avoid them altogether. I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but if you don't know what you're looking at and you're having to rely on others, these really aren't the ones I would look for. I would definitely avoid them. They've just been flipped and upsold and worked on to death at this point. They're not worth your time anymore. I definitely wouldn't look at them. In fact, I looked for them specifically for this video, did not find a single one in this price point that was not completely trash. So that's something to consider. Those are not on the list anymore. And our bonus, getting to it after my Honda rant, we're going to talk about the bonus, is a Honda. It's a Honda Passport and a Isuzu Rodeo. It's a great SUV. It'll last you a really long time, probably longer than that Jeep and Blazer, just because it's going to be more useful to you as you get older or as you go off into life. Get better gas mileage in the Blazer and the Jeep. 20 is what my wife has had 3 of them. They get really good gas mileage for their size, good off-road capability, cranking every time, starting every time, always running. The weakness of the Isuzu and Honda Passport are going to be that timing belt. You've got to get that changed every 100,000 miles. Once you do it, you're 100,000 miles trouble-free. Just drive it until the wheels fall off and put new wheel bearings on it. They'll just keep going and going and going. We've got a customer with over 400,000 miles on his. They just keep going. They're very easy to maintain. Not very DIY friendly, I'll tell you though. If you are going to get something to work on yourself, stick to that Blazer or Cherokee or those 90s Camrys and Corollas. I would definitely stay away from the Isuzu Rodeo and Honda Passport if you're a DIY. It's just harder. I would say it's in the medium category of difficulty. It doesn't fall in the easy category. But if you're just somebody looking for a car, you want to get in and crank it and have very low mechanic bills, this is one that I would put on this list in this price point. It's a very good vehicle. Well, that's all I've got time for on Grumpy Monkey Garage. Hopefully this helps you put some things into perspective you can hunt for when you're looking for a budget car, for a first car. Again, these aren't the best cars in the world, except that Camry. That Camry is on my list of best cars ever built. But these fit this budget, they'll serve you well. I think you'll have a good time. As always, get them inspected. Look for rust, look for flood damage. Has it been totaled before? Those things are gonna affect if you're gonna buy it or not. Be smart about these things. And and we'll see you next time on Grumpy Monkey Garage.